Blessed viewers, welcome to Benok Talk channel, and I urge you to subscribe. Just locate the subscription or the subscribe button down there and click on it, please. Now, in this channel, I will be having conversation on different topics and especially those that affect the society and whether they are related to medicine and other things. But today, the main reason why I'm coming to you is because I want to discuss about something that is trending and is about the Russian guy and the Kenyan women. And these affect all the women in Africa because you see that this Russian guy has been walking from one country to another. He was from Ghana and South Africa before he landed in Kenya. And the problem is that after influencing women in Ghana and South Africa, he came to Kenya and did the same. And that's why we need to be updated with the current information. We need to be watching news. And when we watch news, we're going to be informed. We're going to have news on our fingertips. And that will help us know about what is going on across the globe, whether it is in Africa, Asia, China, and sometimes those news are always critical to us. Now, take for example this case of I don't know whether he's called yet says love, something of that sort. I am not Russian, and therefore I don't know how to pronounce that very well. But this guy came also in Kenya, and what is amazing is that he was in a position to just greet ladies here in Kenya and compliment them. Sometimes he wasn't complimenting, he would just ask them to go with him, and they accepted to go with him to some extent of going to his house and having sexual intercourse. And that can tell you how our ladies are cheap, or maybe something has happened to our morality and we need to do something to uphold our moral values, because it's only by adhering to our moral values or culture that we can be in a position to overcome such people or such evil in the society. You see this man, I'm not saying that it is wrong to consent to sexual intercourse, or to accept to have sex with someone, but don't you even take time to consider the outcomes of these, the aftermath of that sex? You're having sex with a stranger, you don't even know where he's come from, you don't know about his life, I mean his life completely, and you end up having sex with such a person. You don't know how many sexual uh, you don't know how many sexual partners that such a person is having. You don't know where they slept yesterday. You don't know where they have come from. And you don't question their HIV status is in doubt. You don't know completely. You've not gone for a test. And in this case, you just go ahead and have sex with such a person, without caring about your life. And now that is where HIV infection comes in. And you see, according to the story going on, I had or happened to have heard that there is a lady who, upon seeing the trending news that the pictures of the ladies or the videos of the ladies who've been having sex with these Russian have been uploaded by the same guy, he went and took a test, HIV test, and she went and took an HIV test and found herself, or the results were positive. And after that, she committed suicide. And that's why I'm telling you, before you do something, you need to question, you need to think about the repercussion. What are the effects after this? And whatever the ladies did also can tell a lot about uh, how they picture white people. Maybe sometimes they think that they are going to be well off or wealthy when they encounter such a person. Maybe according to them, it's a door to end poverty. And that's why they just consent. They fall for such people without thinking twice. At the end of the day, they are affected severely. And if they were after ending poverty, you see, once you are infected with HIV, uh, you will be enrolled in medical regimen, and that means you'll have to be taking your medicine every day. Uh, and if you miss, it's going to have some effect to your body. That means that you will always be taking medicine until you part from this earth, until the day of your demise. And there are also some other effects that comes with HIV infection. And this is what we've been fighting over and over, but I still think that this thing of stigmatizing the people who have HIV infection still persists. And it leads to maybe isolation, mental health, and so many other things. But we don't say that once you are infected with HIV, that is the end of life. Once you are infected, accept your status, take your medication, and you will live long, because these medications are meant to prolong your life. And for those who are not infected, please accept those infected. Do not mistreat them, do not stigmatize them, but live harmoniously with them. To Our Lady, uh, at least when you feel like you want to have sex with somebody, you don't know their status, you're meeting them for the first time, make sure you use preventive method that have been uh, given to you by public health. I hear they say they talk about GPrEP, GPEP, and the condomize. And this is for the people who um, have decided, or it is difficult for them to stay without having sex, and according to them, okay, they cannot live without sex, and most often they have unprotected sexual intercourse. And for GPrep just means checking prep. These are medicine that are given to people who knows that they are going to have sexual intercourse with people who are infected, or maybe medics who are working. You could be working in a condition or an area where you have a high chance of uh, being infected with HIV. So in that case, you can use PrEP to prevent infection. I think when you take this medicine, it will neutralize this HIV. I think it's like 24 hours before you have sex, something of that sort. And then GPEP is given to people who have been people that you think have been infected, or they have slept with a person that is HIV positive, and they are likely to be infected. And those who have suffered from rape cases, for that matter, when they take this medication, it will help neutralize HIV before it establish itself in your body system or in your blood. Um, and using condom, of course, prevent the deposition of semen into your vagina, and that will prevent infection. It also prevents the men from being infected, because uh, men are likely to be infected with HIV during sexual intercourse due to tear. As they are in that process, there may be friction, and because of that friction, there may be minor injuries leading to tear, and HIV can penetrate through such loopholes. To our women, they also need to know that they they have a higher probability of being infected with HIV compared to men, because of their external genitalia, the anatomy of their female genitalia. Now, the anatomy of their female genitalia exposes them to a higher risk of being infected every time they are going to have sex. One, they will, or you will find that once these semen have been deposited into their vagina, which act as a repository and can store this semen for some times. This semen, if it is from somebody who is infected with HIV, you know it's also affected, it carries that virus. Sperms, we should get a clear difference between the two, a clear distinction between the sperms and semen. Sperm is just but a content of semen, and sperm is always free from the virus, and that's why during conception, the fetus that is going to be formed when sperm and ovum fuses, that fetus is not going to be infected with HIV. It will grow in the uterus without the HIV virus, and can only be predisposed to infection during birth. And that's why you are also advised that you should deliver at a medical center for them to prevent such thing from happening. There can be injury that may lead to the infection of the baby. So medics can help to prevent such cases or such accident from happening. But for this semen now, where sperm is part of, this semen carries the virus. And once this semen is deposited there, it takes time. And the anatomy of your female genitalia exposes you now to infection. First of all, the thin epithelium of your vaginal wall may be exposed to friction during sexual intercourse, and this may lead to tear. And once they tear, the HIV virus may penetrate through such loophole into your blood system. Another thing that also you're likely to experience, or another thing that exposes women to HIV infection more than men, is that once this semen is deposited there, there may be bacterial infection. And when there are bacterial infection, that means the pH of the maybe your vaginal tract has gone down, and that encourages the presence of bacteria in the tract, and these may lead to inflammation, because now the blood will be flowing in plenty to that place. And you see, the blood is flowing so that it can transport the immune cells to that specific place. And when they are transported to that specific place, this is what happens. You'll find out that maybe the CD4 plus T cell and the dendritic cells, which are prone to HIV, are also transported there. And that gives HIV a high chance to infect you, because it attacks this specific cell. So once they are attacked, by attacking, I mean that HIV is going to attach itself on the surface of this cell. After touching, then it penetrates. After penetrating those particular cells, HIV invade your nucleus, and because your nucleus is the commanding center of the cell. Now, this virus commands your nucleus to manufacture virions, and once they are manufactured, and there are many, the cell rupture. After the cell has ruptured, as these virions are moving out, or they are being exposed now to your blood, they take part of this membrane and form other viruses. These viruses continue continues the cycle of infecting other cells, and so by that you get infected. And that's why once you are infected, uh, the CD4 cells which are affected are the number of CD4 cells which are affected are going to go down. After some times, the viral load is going to shoot up, in this case HIV virus in your blood system. That's why I'm saying viral load in your HIV, in your blood system is going to shoot up. The CD4 cell will go down, and the number of antibodies will also shoot up after sometimes. Remember, once you are infected, there is a window stage, and during this, the antibodies are yet to be released. And because they are yet to be released, because your body system is trying to study about this pathogen before they begin to release antibodies that are, should I say, complement to HIV virus. So your body studies the HIV virus and then produces antibodies against that specific virus. So before it produces, your body is studying, and that is what is called the window stage. During that period, it may be difficult to detect the antibodies. And according to science, you are those infected with HIV/AIDS are highly infectious at that window stage. And then with time, the antibodies will begin to be released, and the number of antibodies will shoot up. So these are the two things that are always detected during the test, either the viral load or the antibody. And like I've told you, when your CD4 cells have gone down, even these antibodies are going to be useless, because I believe that these CD4 plus T cells are involved in some ways to trigger your immune system to make them fight this virus. And once they are suppressed, your body is going to lack something that is going to signal your immune system to fight these viruses. So in that case, it becomes difficult to eliminate the virus from your body. And you see, it affects your immune cells. So that's why we urge you to be very, very careful when it comes to HIV, or when you want to maybe have sex with somebody, especially if you don't know them. And even if you know them, you should be sure about their status, their HIV status. So another thing I've talked about, inflammation because of the presence of bacteria in the vaginal tract. And there is another thing that I also want to talk about. Let us say, for example, there is injury. When there is injury within that particular area, even during sex, because there may be injury during maybe rough sex and there is friction, that friction may trigger the blood to flow to that particular part. And like I've said, the epithelial uh, layer that makes up your vaginal wall is thin. So when you experience tear, it creates some loophole for this virus to enter into your blood system. And again, the blood is also going to flow to that particular place because of that injury. And once the blood flow to that particular place, you expect the immune cells to be transported to that particular place. When they are transported to that particular place, and HIV is in the vaginal tract, because we, after sexual intercourse and there is ejaculation, semen has been deposited there, and it's going to be there for some times. Now this semen carries HIV. This HIV is likely to attack these CD4 plus T cells that are going to be found in this blood that will flow to that particular place. And the presence of also progesterone affect your epithelial layer. I I think that whenever there is a high amount of progesterone in your body system, this epithelial cell become thinner, and once it is thinner, it is prone to tear, and that means during sex you are likely to be infected with HIV. So you need to be very careful, understand about the anatomy of your female genitalia, and don't play with it. You should always remember that there are repercussions. That's why, okay, about this case of HIV, I have been discussing with many people of different ages, but although most of them are careless, you can tell from our conversation with them, but youths are more careless. When you discuss with them about this critical matter, they always say that HIV is just but a disease like any other. They say that it is just like malaria, and therefore they don't care whether they are going to be infected or not. And when you hear people talking like that, you know that they are in a danger of being infected. They are likely to be infected with HIV the moment they are going to have sexual intercourse with somebody who is infected. They are likely to be infected, and they don't care at all, because you see, I don't know what blinds them, what veil them from trying to weigh the effect of HIV, the effect of them now turning from that state of being HIV negative to the state of being HIV positive. They don't weigh those repercussions. And we should let them know that HIV is not like malaria. Malaria is incurable. Malaria is caused by Plasmodium species, which is a parasite, and it's spread by mosquito. And the good thing about malaria is that it's also preventable and also curable. But HIV is preventable and not curable. Scientists are still working hard to see whether they can identify the cure of HIV, but at the moment, we still don't have the cure. Sorry, I had some network error, but I'm back. Now, I was saying that HIV has no cure, but malaria is curable. And there has been a contestation also going on concerning HIV healed miraculously, while unbelievers or medics who are unbelievers are trying to undermine the power of God. They don't know that when they go to school, they go to campus and they are studying about the immune system, that complex system of your immunity, I mean the complex structure of your immune system, was designed by the Almighty God. He understands it better than you. You can be the best medical student uh, in the world. And that doesn't mean that now you know more than God, because everything you are trying to study was designed by Him. So He understands perfectly how your immune system works. And I believe that He has power to delete any pathogen from your immune system. And therefore, HIV also, HIV included, He can delete even HIV. And that's why I disagree completely with them when it comes to this. And when people are healed or cured of HIV/AIDS through healings, they need to undergo different tests at different level to ascertain that they are indeed cured. And these tests should follow up, just like what has been happening in the ministry of repentance and holiness, to see whether this virus is going to, there is a term in science which I'm trying to locate from my mind, but those tests are carried out to see whether they're going to detect any virus again in your blood system. And that should happen to confirm that they have indeed been cured. So I urge our women to be very careful. Of course, it's your body. You can do with it what you feel like, but be very careful about the repercussion. You should be very careful about the repercussion. There is also another myth that I want to debunk. And while I was conversing with some um, young man and a woman, and they were saying that when you go for HIV test, let us say you are HIV positive and you go for HIV test, and just before you go, you take Panadol. They were saying that that Panadol is going to influence that test, and you're going to turn out negative, yet you are positive. And I want to say that that is a myth, and it's not medically proven. It's not medically proven. The only way that you can know about your HIV status is by going for a test. And there is nothing that can prevent or influence the results unless you're using testing kits that are that have some problem. I don't know whether using obsolete is the correct word here, but unless there is a problem with those testing kits, I don't think something can influence those results. So that is the best way to know about your HIV status. You must visit the health facilities, take a test, and for you to know about your HIV status. But it should, or they should also know that you cannot have sex today with somebody who is HIV positive, and let us say, for example, you've been infected that day, and then you go tomorrow for a test, and then you find yourself to be HIV positive. Although you are positive because you are infected, the virus is in your blood, but it's going to be very difficult for the antibody test to be positive, because like I've told you, when you are infected, it takes time for the antibodies to be formed against that virus. And in that case, even the viral load is very low. It's yet to shoot up. And in that case, you may need very sensitive tests for you to know, or for the virus to be detected. So even when testing the virus at that stage, it may cloud the fact that you are positive. So you're likely not to know that you are positive, and that's why you are advised to wait for about 3 months. So when you wait for those 3 months, enough antibodies are going to be formed, which can be detected by the testing kit. Yeah. That's all I wanted to say today. I hope whatever I've shared at this hour is going to help somebody. Goodbye, but don't forget to hit the subscription or subscribe button down here to promote this channel. Thank you.